Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Lesson 31. Our goal today is to divide decimal dividends by decimal dividers. And you might be thinking right now, yes, we've done this before. I'm going to have a lot of confidence. This is going to be great. If that's your thinking, awesome. I'm glad to hear it. We're going to use that thinking as a springboard to help us with these problems. However, there's going to be two differences today. One, the numbers are going to be a little bit larger to work with. And when we get to larger numbers, we always got to be careful to make sure that our answers are reasonable. So the second part of our lesson today, or that's different, is going to be some rounding and estimating. We want to make sure that we're not 10 times too big, or 1/10 the size, or 100 times too big. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit in depth with our first problem on how to do that rounding and estimating before we get into the specifics of the problems. All right, so let's get started. Our first problem, and I'm going to work on page 142 if I have a workbook page. Scratch a piece of paper if you need to, but you can also go into Google Classroom, the class work tab up at the top, scroll down to workbook module 4, and the very first post has your workbook. Okay? So if you ever ripped the page, misplaced it for the day, or whatever, maybe you can also access it there. All right, so now with that said, let's get started. Now, when we round, we typically, or do some estimating, we typically work with our divisor first. And most of the time we're going to say, wow, 0.3, that's, I like to work with whole numbers. So going back to module 2, saying whole numbers work the best for me. So I'm going to round it to 1. And so then what works really well with 1? Well, this is close to 19. So I would hope that my answer is 19. I want us to really think that with decimals, it's a little bit different. Okay? So I don't want you just to take that divisor and say, oh, it's going to be close to 1. Okay? Because when you find out the exact answer here, it's going to be a little bit different. Okay? So what we really want to do for our estimating is actually start setting up the problem first. Let's try that. We really have our 18 and 6/10 as our numerator. Here's our dividing line, fraction, and 3/10. Let's try that again. Our 3/10 as our denominator. Now, I want to get rid of that decimal. Notice that these are in the tenths place, so I'm just going to multiply these by 10. Still hasn't done our estimating yet. Now, when I multiply, this is getting larger, moving one place to the left. It's going to give us 3. Same with this one to make equivalent fractions. So one place to the left on the place value chart, giving us 186. Now, ultimately, we're going to come off to the side and do 186 divided by 3, our standard algorithm. But I want to go ahead and do some work with our estimating here. I'm going to use red for our estimating. I'm going to take this and round it. I'm going to round it close to 5. 5 tends to work. And what numbers really going to be close to 186 that works well with 5? Okay. Now, there's a lot of different numbers that you could work with. I want to focus on some basic facts because I don't want to spend all my time working on the estimating of our answer. That's really not the goal. Our goal for the problem is to solve it. And we're just using the estimation just to see if our answer is reasonable. So, basic fact. So what works well with here, I might say 150. That would work. I might say that could round to 200 and divide by 5. And then I would say it's somewhere around 30. I might say this one, and if we're estimating, going to be close to about 40. Maybe you keep it as a 3 and divide it by 3. And say what works really well with 3? Well, 180. And I'm going to say that this is going to be really close to 60. Right? Again, estimate. Right? Maybe you use, let's say, 4. Right? And what works close to 4? Let's say 160. Let's say that you have, well, there's another 40. Right? All of these are acceptable. Right? But again, notice I'm trying to use some basic facts so I can do this mentally here. Right? Also notice if we just rounded this over here to 1, right, we have 19. Very different from our rounded estimate here. So let's go ahead and solve this and see what we come up with. So how many 3's go into 1? None. So I didn't use any, and our difference is 1. Bring down the 8. How many 3's go into 18? 6. 6 times 3 is 18. So finding the difference gives us 0. And bring down the 6. How many 3's go into 6? 2. That means we used all 6. And nothing is left over. Okay, here's our actual answer. Right? Remember, this equation or this fraction is equivalent to this one. Right? So our answer to this problem is going to be 62 parts or 62 tenths. And is it close to any of these here? Yeah, they're pretty close. I understand that if you picked 150 divided by 5, right, there's 32 holes or 32 parts. That's okay. Right? We're still pretty close. If this answer came to be 620, are you close? No. Right? Then we made a mistake over here. If this was 6 2/10, well, it doesn't quite match a little as nicely, so we might have a mistake here. But these are in the tens, there's in the tens. We can say that we're pretty reasonable. And we'd be even less reasonable if we use this 19 over here. Right? So when we do our estimating to see if our answers are reasonable, we're not just going to round our decimal to 1 whole. We're going to set all this up and come to this fraction first, then do our estimating. And if you have any questions or unsure how we do that, come to the We Do video where we'll break it down a little bit more. Okay? All right. So with that said, let's go into our workbook page, page 142. We're going to estimate and then divide. And they gave us the first one, another resource if you needed to. Notice what they did. They set it up, step 1, into a fraction. Step 2, they went ahead and found an equivalent fraction, right, which ends up being here. Then what they did is they estimated. They rounded 784 to 770 and 7 to 7. There's a basic fact. What is 77 divided by 7? It's 11. It's going to be 10 times as big. Right? So again, those basic facts. We're going to spend more time on this part, the dividing, than we do on the rounding to find our estimate. So with that said, let's do letter A. I'm going to rewrite this as 53 and 2/10 as a numerator, divided by 4/10. And we need to find an equivalent fraction that doesn't have a decimal in it. So I'm going to then multiply this to get rid of that decimal. Now notice that they're both in tenths, so I'm going to multiply it by 10 to get rid of that decimal. And we're left with multiplying it by 10, so it's getting larger by 1 place value to the left. That's 4. And this one's going to give us 532. Now let's do some estimating. I'm going to put it in red. We could certainly keep our 4. And what 532 would be rounded to what that works really well with a 4? And you have a couple options that you can work with. Maybe we stick with 400. maybe we say, well, I want to do a 5 because I see there's a 5 in the hundreds place here. Maybe we round our divisor to 5 and keep it at 500. And that would certainly work. Right? Where it should be somewhere around 100. This one's going to give us about 100. Again, this estimate here, right, you have some flexibility. You can choose what's going to work best for you, but again, work with a basic fact that you can do more mentally. So again, we're thinking about around 100. And now we do our standard algorithm. Our numerator always goes under our little house. Our divisor, 4, goes outside. How many 4s go into 5? 1. We used 4 of them. Where difference is 1. Bring down to 3. How many 4s go into 13? Well, think of your basic facts. 4 times 3 is going to give us 12. Finding the difference gives us 1. Bring down the 2. How many 4s go into 12? Well, again, 3. And we're left with nothing left over. So our answer is going to be 133. Is that pretty close to our estimate? Absolutely. It's pretty reasonable. Right. Now, if we did it a different way and you said, well, 4/10 is close to 1, and you did this one and say this rounds to 53, well, then we're having an answer of 53. Not as reasonable. Right? So make sure that you set the problem up first before you're going ahead and estimating. Let's do another one. I'm going to set this problem up as 1 and 52 is our numerator, it's our dividend, and our 8/10 is our divisor or our denominator. And I notice in this one here, this one's in the tenths, this one here is in the hundredths. So in order to get this decimal out, I'm really going to need to move this decimal 2 places, or I'm going to need to move the values of the numbers 2 places. So think 10 to the power of 2, 2 places. That's going to be 100. So if I need to do the top by 100, the bottom needs to be by 100 as well to make equivalent fractions. I don't think you can multiply this one by 10, then they won't have equivalent fractions. This is going to give us 152. This one's actually going to give us 800. Not sure how that worked? Check out the We Do where we can do some place value chart work. Right. Now I'm going to get my red pen for our estimate. I might even keep this 80. That works well for us. And what might this one round to that's getting close to 80? And if you're not sure, off to the side, you can do some skip counting. And say, whoa, wait a minute. 160 is pretty close to 152. I might do 160. And say, well, that's going to give us basic fact of 16 divided by 8 is 2. Maybe you think, well, this is going to be 100. And you say, what's this one going to be close to? Well, knowing that there's a 5 there, we can round it to 200. 200 divided by 100 still going to give us 2. So we should have something that's about 2. Let's go ahead and solve that. Off to the side, 152 divided by 80. How many 80s go into 1? 0. Can't get any. So we're left with 1. Bring down the 5. How many 80s go into 15? Still 0. We didn't use any. And bring down the 2. How many 80s go into 2? Well, our skip counting over here told us, well, we think about 2, but that's 160. So it's really going to be 1 whole. So 180, or 180, or 80 times 1 is going to give us 80. We're going to have to subtract with our 2. We're going to have to unbundle. It's going to give us 15, 72. Now here's where we're going to have to put a decimal point. Bring it down, line it up, and we're going to have to continue. We're going to go 3 places, the tenths place, the hundredths place, and the thousands place, if the decimal keeps on going. Right? Now we're going to